Hi, everybody.
Are we going?
Are we live? We say that every week. Are we on?
Live with Allison and Mike. It's like the old school Regis, Kathy Lee Gifford Regis, but now it's Kelly and Ryan or something.
I want to be Kelly, not Kathy. No offense, but Kelly's younger. So I want to be the younger one.
I'd be Seacrest.
Isn't this exciting though, y'all? We have this thing, this plexiglass shield, so we can't spit on one another, but we don't have to use a mask.
You're just gonna see spots from me talking the whole time.
Is it already spit?
Well, no, it's just things.
Okay, just noticed we were both kind of coordinating today with the whole pink.
The pink? I even have a pink undershirt.
I'm impressed. Real men wear pink.
Layers. I love pink. I love purple and pink, which tend to be thought of as feminine colors. I don't distinguish between feminine and masculine necessarily, but I do love colors.
It suits you.
I'm gonna get some pink Converse, like with
You
my
are?
green now, but I would.
I was like, I've never seen any pink Converse. They probably
Do they make
have them, like for breast cancer awareness or something. I bet they do have them. If not, that's an idea for somebody out there, is to put out some pink Converse shoes.
Facebook is not telling me that we're live, so
Maybe we're not. Maybe we're talking.
are we talking to nobody?
Jason's watching.
There we go.
Ashley's watching,
it just told me. Okay.
Elizabeth is watching.
So every week I go in, like I'm asking you, all of you who are watching right now, go in. Oh.
You can hear
Listen
us
to
now.
yourself.
Yeah, that's weird.
After the fact, it's awkward. So I'm going to share it. So hello, Elizabeth, Ashley.
How much of a delay is there? Like how behind when you watch it? You know what I'm saying?
Right? I don't.
Is it like 5 seconds or something?
Hashtag uncomfortable too. Is that like the Unforgiven 2? What is that?
It's a good movie.
No.
What?
It's a Metallica CD album.
Oh, Unforgiven is a song.
You're right. Oh, you're right.
But
It was
Unforgiven
on Reload. It was on Reload.
Isn't that like a western, like a Clint Eastwood western or something? The Unforgiven.
Probably.
I was like, is there a sequel to it? The Unforgiven's a good movie.
I'm thinking of Load and Reload. That was our college days, Allison. Well, my college days.
Really?
No, I won't go there. Okay.
I don't know.
We were in college at the same time, at the same university.
Didn't even know it.
We didn't know it.
I think we should talk about how you made everybody uncomfortable yesterday by wearing your underwear on the outside of your jeans.
I did it Sunday too.
I even debated. Oh yeah, it was not yesterday, was it? Sunday. I've already skipped the whole day of this week.
I may have done it yesterday too. Who knows?
Sunday, he wore his boxers on the outside.
And an undershirt on the outside, man.
Well, when I went to post the picture, I was like, do I really want to post this picture? Because people looking at the picture don't have the context of knowing what's this man doing up there in his boxer shorts.
Yeah, from a distance, you may not even, because, the jeans these days, especially, skinny jeans.
That was a bold
Which is a lie. They don't make you skinny.
They feel skinny.
Oh,
they're
feel
tight,
skinny.
and they cut off your circulation, so you feel skinny even if you're not.
Oh, there you go.
You should tell people why you were wearing your underwear on the outside of your clothing.
Yeah, so I got up late and I was running around and I just put it all on backwards somehow. And so, oh, that's not happening. We were raising awareness and doing a underwear drive for children with our sister church, Bethel Family Worship Center. And so we were collecting the bare necessities of underwear for children ages 4 to 11, and so I was bringing awareness to that we were doing that, and then the other part was just to make you uncomfortable.
Right, and it worked.
It went.
Does everybody out there agree who was there?
It was between the video and that. Amy Bartlett's preaching this weekend. Little preview, right? I don't know what she's doing.
I don't think she's gonna do that. Amy, what do you think? No. Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. I'm not that bold, but I respect it. Respect.
It was even uncomfortable for me. So I came into this. We're in a makeshift office, makeshift studio /office /bookstore is what it looks like. But I came in here right before church, and I had my clothes and everything in here, and so I shimmied them on. Which, by the way, it's hard to get underwear on while you're wearing shoes. Just so you know, on top of your clothes. It's Amy's in the back going like she's.
I can picture that.
All right, so.
It's like trying to shimmy on your skinny jeans. Oh, it's back to skinny jeans.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me.
That is a process.
You see that Friends episode where Ross gets his leather pants stuck? And he's on a date?
Like after you shower and you're just still a little like hot and sweaty and you're trying to really, if you're late, trying to pull on your jeans and you're like, oh my gosh, did I just wash these? Why are they so tight?
It's true though, they are tight after you first wash them.
They are.
By the way, don't try lotion or baby powder. This is what Ross does, and it turns into like a... Little did you know that tuning into Table Talk today, we'd be talking about leather pants.
You get tips and tricks on putting on your tight
how to put on
pants.
tight jeans. And so, a friend of mine, Megan, in high school had a pair of baby blue pleather pants. I don't think she watches this, but anybody knows her. It's Megan Nolan calling her out. Oh, blue.
I do
baby
remember
blue
the
pleather. Yeah. It was a thing. Shiny, you know, like, yeah. Horrible. Don't ever do it. Okay, so what are we at? We're about, I don't know, 5 after, 6 after. So we wanted to kind of give some space and time for people to get on. I know a lot of you are watching over your lunch break, and it takes a few minutes to, microwave your lunch and come join us. So, yeah, we're in the middle of this idea that we should be uncomfortable, and we don't like it. It makes us uncomfortable to think of being uncomfortable.
We avoid being uncomfortable at all costs.
So, I've talked about it at church for 2 weeks. This is our second week of Table Talk talking about it. Are you finding situations in your life, for all of you that are watching, are you finding, is it enlightening you maybe just a little bit that when you encounter an uncomfortable situation, are you letting it grow you? Or are you allowing it to seep in, or are you rejecting it? I said a phrase this week. Are we reacting to the uncomfortable, or are we responding to the uncomfortable? And so the difference between those two is when you react to it, like there's something that's happening inside of you, and usually I use the word visceral. It's this automatic reaction. Your brain goes limbic, fight, flight, or fright, all the stuff that we've talked about in the past. But are you reacting, or are you responding to it? And by responding, we could embrace it. We could welcome it in, and then we start to ask the hard questions, right? Why is this causing me to be uncomfortable? Now we're not talking, I want to be clear that we're not talking about dangerous situations or where you're putting yourself into harm's way. We're not talking, so when I say uncomfortable, I'm not talking about walking down a dark alley, right, in the middle of the night by yourself type thing. That should make you uncomfortable for a reason.
Wisdom.
Yes. Well, and then the fight, flight, or fright, that comes into play because that is your brain, your subconscious brain keeping you safe. Unfortunately, that same mechanism works in the same way when we encounter things that are out of the norm. And so that same fight, flight, or freeze, is that what I said before? It's fight, flight, or freeze. Anyway, that kicks in during things that could possibly help us to grow in our humanity and as human beings, to be kinder, nicer people. And so I'm going to ask the question, are you able to view things differently? Are you able... My goal with all this, as we're talking about it, is that when we encounter those uncomfortable situations, I talked about one this morning, and it's a conversation that I had with Amy Bartlett, actually, where I was being a jerk. I know this is going to surprise a lot of you. Not to her. I was being a jerk about a situation. And so I was upset about something, and I was just like, blah, 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 blah. She's like, well, maybe you should be a good human being and, reach out and find, all the things that I say, like, she gave back to me.
Don't you love that when people feed back your own words?
Well, but isn't that why we get upset and uncomfortable a lot of times? Mm-hmm. A lot of times people show us a mirror. I mean, it's not an actual mirror, but what they're doing and saying is actually, what we're seeing is our crap.
It's exposing you to yourself.
So what happens? It brings what's on the inside. Right? The analogy of the underwear. So that's, I think, what's happening. And so I think it's good that we encounter things that make us uncomfortable, and we should embrace it and respond to it. And, okay, so I'm asking, is anybody encountering
situations?
Anything?
And this week you were specifically talking about people who might make us uncomfortable, or people who, if we think about them, it makes us uncomfortable to think. Like, I love the challenge of think of this person, whoever's the worst person you can think of. That's a horrible thing to say, but somebody who you don't think deserves love, like worst person on the planet. And then to put yourself in the position of seeing them from God's viewpoint of he loves that person, as bad as they are, equally as
Right.
as much as he loves you. If you can think of it, because you think you're special, you think God loves you. A lot of people feel like that. Me and God,
We're tight.
we're special.
We're Christians. We
Not
got it all
really.
figured out. That's sarcasm, by the way.
But you can't imagine someone who has done horrific things,
Right.
for example, enjoying that same acceptance and love from God as you feel like God might give you. That's a strange mental activity to
So,
undergo.
I also want to have the caveat here. What I am not saying that rapists and pedophiles can exist in our society. We have to imprison people like that because they cannot function around normal, healthy people. What I'm saying is that's how we deal with it, right? We imprison people who hurt people like that. But if you think about it for a minute, God loves them as much as he loves you. And I'm talking about that, and I told the story about, the 99 and the 1, and the sheep wanders off, right? There's a story Jesus is telling, and the reason he's telling it is because Jesus is hanging out with average, normal people, and who the religious elite, right, the ones who had it all figured out, were saying, these are not the right people you should be hanging out with. You should be hanging out with people like us, right? We the ones that have the knowledge, we're the ones that have it right, and we do the right things. And they define that as their list of rules. We would call them commandments, right? It all starts with the 10 Commandments and Moses, and then they just go from there. By the time Jesus was born, there's
many rules.
700 and some odd commandments or rules or whatever. And there's every time something happens, there's a new rule. No, you can't do that. And so I'm glad we don't have that today still. Does that make you uncomfortable? Come on, we have new rules every day.
Yeah.
And laws and everywhere. So Jesus is spending time with the people who don't get it, who according to the religious elite, right? And Jesus is like, no, God loves these sinners that I'm hanging out as much as you. Then he tells a story, right? So he's trying to make a point that the people I'm spending time with, the marginalized, the ones you are kicking out, right? He tells this story to reinforce this idea. So that's what we read before this. And then he tells the story. Say you lose a sheep. Of course, they would have been farmers. They would have been livestock farmers. They grew grapes, olives, so they understood farming. And so sheep was something that they took care of a lot. And so he's speaking to a lot of them knew what the reference to sheep was. So say you have 100 sheep. Today it could be different. Say you have, I don't know, he could have referenced it to kids. Say you have, no, that's too close to home. I don't know. I'll think of a better analogy later. This is all off cuff. And so say you have 100 sheep. He's like, and you lose one, or one wanders off. Now what's interesting is he doesn't define why the sheep is gone, right? He doesn't say the sheep's bad. He doesn't say the sheep's whatever. The sheep, there's a separation that occurs. And the context of that separation, what Jesus is reinforcing was there were religious elites saying that these people aren't it. So most likely, the way I read the story, is that the 99, right, the context story is the 99 probably pushed the one out, right? I mean, that's the context of which he's talking about. These elites were saying, why are you hanging out with sinners and drunkards and tax collectors, right? Why are you hanging out with people that we don't accept?
They're not included.
So Jesus tells this story to reinforce that what you are saying is not accurate. So he tells the story of the one that you think is bad, the one that's over here that you've pushed to the outskirts of society. That's who I choose to spend my time with, right? And so he goes and he finds the sheep. And not only does he find it, he says you put it around your neck, right? I guess that's how you carry sheep. You throw them around.
I've never actually seen anybody do that, but
I haven't, but I've seen pictures, yes. And so he goes, you'll put it around your neck, you even call your friends and you'll celebrate. And then he actually goes on to tell a story of a prodigal son, which is the same story, right? We think the son who goes and spends his inheritance and then comes back and is like, I'm sorry. We're
he's
like,
the bad son.
Yeah, he's the bad one. But Jesus tells a story from the viewpoint of the father, and he embraces the bad son, right? The one that we would say is bad. So the point of all that is Jesus is trying to reinforce the ones that we call other, the ones that we call bad, the ones that we say aren't as good as us, right? That we are all equalized with God's grace. And not condoning, not saying that everybody can function in society with some of their problems, but I was trying to use hyperbole, a very extreme nature of a story about inclusion to push you guys. And I did it on purpose to make you uncomfortable. Nobody wants to talk about racists or pedophiles or mass murderers, right? These are all people who don't function in our society, right? Alice, am I making you uncomfortable?
No,
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, but that's an extreme example to give it, a picture of what we're talking about. But has anybody responded to his initial question about just situations in general, about things that make you uncomfortable?
Yes, Ashley had replied when you asked about whether we react or respond, and she said she tends to react and then regrets it and makes a change and grows from it.
Okay, I want to stop there for 2 seconds. The point of our faith, the point that we come together in community is not, so we talk about sin and selfishness, right? And I talked about this morning. We are not here to eradicate that. We're all always going to have emotion. We're always going to have our thing. We are here to learn, to make mistakes, but then to do that, right? To learn from it. So repent. We call that repent. That we recognize it, we turn. And even though that's a pattern, a cycle, the point is that we can learn from it and grow. So keep going. I want to stop there because I talked about it this morning because I think we all just mess up all the time. We're all a bunch of Karens and Garys, aren't we?
Speak for yourself.
Oh, no.
No.
I was being a Gary yesterday.
No,
I
my
hope Gary
teenage-
Roach watches these.
Yeah,
I don't know if
no.
he does or not, but I
My
hope he
teenage
does.
son has called me Karen before.
And a boomer.
And a boomer.
Yeah.
So
Okay, boomer.
I'm gonna wear it. But
But the point is that we're not here to eradicate evil or eradicate everything. We're here to try to make it, to learn from it, to make it better, to participate together, and to realize that that is our default, right? And then, yes, we need to make changes, and we shouldn't think like that. But we're not here to. That's never going to be eradicated. The kingdom of God. Oh.
no, sorry, you just made me think of something.
Oh, go.
But
Go.
I interrupted.
No, go.
That's like when Ellen did her thing yesterday.
Yes.
Like she basically said all that. She's taken a lot of heat for the way that people think that she has run her show or the way it's been allowed to be run. And she stood up in front of everybody and said, I take responsibility. This is my show. I'm not perfect. You think I'm this person, but I'm also this person and this person. And sometimes I get mad and angry and do things I wish I
struggle
hadn't.
with anxiety.
She's like, and she's like, and I'm working through that. We're all working through our things and trying to grow and move on and be better. And I thought, that's so good because what we want to do and what everybody tried to do was when they heard about that stuff that was going on, they like pounced on it and wanted to cancel her. Like, Ellen is no longer going to contribute because she is a meanie.
Ellen has to be a god. Ellen can't be human.
Right. Or
Yeah.
we're going to write her off and write all these stories about her and point the finger. And I'm not saying that the things that went on the show shouldn't have. Like, I mean, obviously, if there are things going on the show that's wrong, they need to address that. So I'm not saying that.
And she did. She fired like 4 people.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's trying to move forward. She's taking the steps, and we can't just cancel that. We can't just cancel her for making a mistake or whatever.
Right.
So I
well,
thought
the
it was a great
vilification of good people, right? And again, my lens is most people are good people. Most people aren't doing things knowing that the thing they're doing is going to hurt somebody, right? We are reacting, or we're doing a thing, we're programmed. We have this, the three of us were talking about something within the church, and I grew up with some baggage from the church, right? And I was having this reaction to a thing, and I was like, oh, right? And Allison looks at me, she goes, stop being a baby, like, just suck it up. Why are you mad about it? I'm like, I'm not mad, I'm just dealing with this.
Those exact
Kind of like that, a little bit.
Like
she's mean to me. This is a safe place.
he's got to cry for help right
Can
now.
I talk about it?
What else you got, Amy?
Sean said, this is my philosophy. I feel like this is what makes us human. We were talking about messing up daily and growing from it. And he said, the messing up, at the end of the day, I think us getting better and growing are what we are supposed to do to get to God.
Yes.
Yeah, the journey of growth and change and working through stuff.
Yeah, the kingdom of heaven looks like that.
True. Yeah.
Right? That we're growing. The kingdom of heaven is not paradise.
And it's not being stuck in your past and stuck in your mistakes and stuck in your bitterness or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you have to look forward and move on, or that's where you end up. And that will be more about what we talk about this coming week.
Yeah.
Of how to...
Ooh, our past.
How to embrace your past and work through it, but then look forward with it. And what can you do with
Amy,
that?
are you talking about your college job and about your past?
That's enough.
That's enough, she said. I don't know if you heard that. That's enough.
I have her so nervous about the Sunday.
We're excited for Amy Bartlett to preach this week. It's going to be fun.
Listen, tell your friends, invite your friends. Most of you are tired of hearing from me. Yeah, Amy's going to preach this weekend, and it's a very important sermon because she's going to be touching on how we don't let our past define us, and
the skeletons. And
and how we have all these things. We all have baggage and junk and stuff, and so.
They're preaching it for me in the comments.
Oh, are they?
Are they?
They giving you material? What you got?
Ashley said I mess up daily, and then I said, don't we all? And Chuck said ditto, and I think it's important to remember everyone else is doing the same.
Yeah.
And then Ashley said I try and teach that to my kids and point out my mistakes and show them how I could have done it better or reacted differently.
Oh, that is what we need to be teaching our kids. Instead, I do it, I shouldn't say we. What I do is we almost act like we're better, or we have it all together, we're going to impart some knowledge to them instead of just teaching them.
Like we're afraid they won't respect us if we're real.
Yep.
Yeah.
And respect in my value system, unfortunately, is like, if I feel disrespected, I get hurt real easy. And so that in my value system, like it's a big thing. And so, yeah, I want, and instead my kids just want me to be real with them and talk to them. It's like, I struggle with this, I struggled when I was 14 driving my parents' car without a license.
See, I didn't do that. I actually didn't.
I did it once and got caught.
You're the only one.
And now I have a child who likes to do it.
I had a license at 14.
Oh, well, yeah.
State where you could drive at 14.
There you go.
Okay, so
it didn't help. You've been driving that long?
So true. Elizabeth said, I think we are quick to want to cancel something just because they weren't perfect. Hitting what you were talking about earlier.
Or destroy a person's reputation. Anytime, now, I get why some people, like, there's still religious elite in our culture who are like, I have all the answers, and they say things like, I'm perfect and I have it all together. And then when it comes out that they weren't, then they get, destroyed. But I'm like, anytime something comes out about anybody, and I'm like, okay, they were human, like, where's the grace in this? Mm-hmm. Instead, we excommunicate people. And it doesn't matter, take Christianity out of it, any kind of leadership position, we excommunicate people. Now, I'm not saying there's not damage and there's not repercussions for our choices. What I'm saying is it seems like our media is out for a story and will make things bigger in social media with individuals. People will vilify other human beings.
Like you can't dismiss a lifetime of work and achievement over a mistake. Now some mistakes are pretty big.
Right.
But like still, there's more to a person than an act and in a moment where they screw up.
Well, let's hope so, because again, all of us, like it's just, I don't know, that's the faith that I have. Mm-hmm. And I think I try to talk about a lot of my mistakes because I make them a lot. And so I just do. And you two know it more than anybody, and my family, because I'm around you guys more than anybody. But Amy's laughing in the background,
giggling.
so I'm assuming that's something good.
Well, it's Erica's birthday today.
Oh, right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Erica.
I just got off the phone with you, Erica.
And so, first of all, she said, Michael, be nice to me. And then she said, I don't know about you guys, but I have it all together every day. And then, laughing.
Which is interesting, because the phone conversation we just had says you don't. So.
She said, just kidding, I'm a hot mess. My kid pooped in the shower yesterday.
Erica, we love you. Oh, that's a real story.
Yeah.
Every time, you're trying to give your kids a bath in the big bathtub. There's a reason why they sell those little bathtubs, like in the sink,
Oh,
because if they poop in that, you can just dump the water. The whole bathtub, you got to drain it, and now your hot water heater's out of water, and.
Well, and you have to disinfect the whole darn thing.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, huh? And so.
I would, but I don't know. I'm not judging you, Erica, if you don't disinfect the whole bathtub.
There's soap. Like, soap in the water, it kills it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Then who scoops the poop?
Like, I know kids take a bath and there's a reason for that, but if you really just think about it, like, it's,
So far, Friends skinny jeans,
dirty bathwater,
dirty pooping. No, it's more than just that. Pooping in bathwater, and that we're all just a mess and make mistakes all the time. So there we go. Here's Table Talk for you on this Tuesday.
How much time do we have left?
I don't know, 5 minutes.
Well, I was going to say, too, and maybe there are other comments I don't want to take away from that, but I think sometimes we make it into this big old deal, like the people who we dismiss for whatever reason, but sometimes it's more simple than that. Like, I think we use personality conflict as an excuse to shut someone out.
Say more.
Have you done that before? Like where there's somebody in your life where you just, they rub you the wrong way. Am I the only one who has people in their life? They just rub you the wrong way and you just don't
tend
to get along. And so you tend to shut them out and exclude them from things because you don't want to spend time with them, and you tell yourself, oh, we have a personality conflict. It's okay. Not everybody's meant to be friends. We can exclude that person in our minds because we think.
Well, then we demonize them too. So we say it's a personality conflict.
But in our
what do you
hearts,
really
we're
mean?
really like, I just don't.
They're a worse person than I am, and I'm better because.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. All you who have kids. So if you don't have kids, I'm sorry, but I'm going to make a child analogy right now. How many of us judge other people by their kids? Before I had kids, I did this all the time. I'm like, oh, you must be a horrible parent because your kid is being crazy.
And as a mom,
and then I had children, and I realized, no,
yeah,
children are just crazy.
As a mom, you
or I'm a bad
feel
parent.
that
I don't
too.
know.
Like you're afraid of that. You know it's happening.
As
you
a
know
dad,
people are
I'm just not
judging
just
you.
mom, just dads. Like I feel, yeah, because I used to do that to people. I'm like, shh, get your kids' crap together because clearly you're not doing this right.
Yeah, but we're called to love and reach out to
Yeah.
even those people who rub us the wrong way in the little things, the little.
Well, Jesus says love our enemies, not because if you act, so love is a verb, right? Most often in the Bible it's referring to as a verb. It's not actually referring to the feeling. It's something we do. And so when Jesus calls us to love enemy, what he's saying is go actively pursue those you don't agree with and invest in loving them, and then what happens? When you love your enemy, they become your friend. Mm-hmm. So what he recognizes we're always going to have enemy, because all of us do. The love your enemy is to actively engage in people you disagree with in healthy ways. And not on social media. Face to face. Buy one of these. I will buy anybody who wants that face to face meeting and you're scared, I'll buy you one of these. Just carry it in your car with you, and every time you go to sit somebody, just sit right here, put it between you. You have no, nothing.
Something like
Amy's
that.
shaking her head in the background going, she's like,
You crazy.
that's what she does to me a lot. So.
Anything else, Amy, before we wrap up?
Elizabeth said, I've actually been the person who, when someone's kid is acting crazy in the store, tell them I understand and don't feel bad.
Oh, that's so appreciated.
I always say, I'm like, oh, I remember those days. Listen, is there anything I can do? You ever try to talk to the kid?
Like, hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? 'Cause
And
sometimes
they're
they'll
like,
listen. Yeah.
Stranger danger makes it worse.
Well, I just tried to diffuse it right then, and I'm like, listen, if you're good, when you get home, mommy will give you a candy bar.
Oh, that's great.
She may not, but it shuts them up right then. I'm just kidding. I do not do that. Amy's in the back again going,
Bad advice.
don't do that. I love this time. I love Table Talk. Just so you all know, like we don't script anything. We know we're going to talk about it, but I just wanted to go where it's going to go. And so I love everyone's input. Thank you. Keep doing that. Send us questions if you have them. I know Erin Curry, is she watching today? I don't know if she is or not. When we first started, she had a list of questions that we're going to address soon, correct?
Well, this was one of them, of canceling people who
Yes,
you
it was.
don't agree
Okay.
with, and how we've gotten to this point where disagreements become a destruction of relationships. And that was what one of her things was.
Well, and also, I'm going to, before the election, we're going to have some deep conversation about politics. I'm going to tell you which side is right, which side is wrong. I'm going to tell you who to vote for. And, we're going to. Actually, we're not. But we're going to talk about politics and why we can't have a healthy dialogue. And anyway, so we're going to address that in that conversation too. Because right now, I get emails daily and phone calls daily about the end of the world. And so, no, it's not the end of the world, regardless of what you think. We're not there. Yet.
Yeah. Still a while left in 2020, but we're not there yet.
Asteroid Day's coming up. Yeah, and so... Oh, you haven't heard this one?
Oh, dear.
Oh. The day before the election, there's a small asteroid that's going to come close to the Earth. There's
The day before the election?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, a friend of mine called me last week. Have you heard this craziness? I'm like, no, I haven't. So I Google it, and sure enough. The world's ending, November 2nd.
Are you prepping in your bunker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Doomsday preppers.
I think
Is that uncomfortable, Amy? Is that awkward?
It's about that time, isn't it?
Amy's like, let it all. Stop talking. No more.
We're
All
so
right.
glad that you guys choose to spend your time with us here today.
I hope this makes your day, your week, just a little bit lighter. I hope we can dig into some stuff that, one, makes you uncomfortable, makes you think a little bit. The point of this is to challenge you, and I hope maybe our dialogue accomplishes that from time to time. So, have a great day. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
See ya.